Welcome to another edition of The Nate Moore Show. Our show is brought to you each week by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm Aiden Hookey. Joining me is Coach Moore. Welcome to the show. Coach, your Tigers won their third straight game, beating Warren Harding 49-46 last Friday night at Warren. Your team is now 3-1. Tell us how you felt after the win.
Well, anytime you get a win at Massillon Stadium, you feel pretty good. And happy with our offense, and we did some good things on special teams. Got to get better at kickoff. And defensively, we got to make better plays with the ball in the air on the deep balls. But other than that, you know, we had a lot of good things, a lot of things that went well, and you know, so pretty happy.
Running back Will Trell Hartson had another huge game, rushing for 287 yards and scoring 4 touchdowns. How much credit goes to that Tiger offensive line and the work they're doing at the line of scrimmage?
It's a huge amount of credit, huge amount of credit. Our offensive line is playing really well. They had a great game on Friday. Sustained blocks, came off the ball, made adjustments schematically to different things. They did a fantastic job.
Your quarterback, Darius McElroy, had a strong game, completing 10 out of 16 passes for 114 yards and 1 touchdown. In what areas have you seen the most improvement of Darius's play?
I just thought it was his best game of the year, and that he really operated the offense well, distributed the ball well, with our base offense, with the power run game and the RPOs on the outside, and we got the tag screens going a little bit. We got the backside RPO going a little bit, and that's when we're at our best. And so he did a great job with that.
Wide receiver Ardell Banks had a big game, catching 4 passes for 65 yards and a touchdown. What did you think of his performance, and tell us more about the touchdown pass?
Yeah, Ardell had a really nice game, and he was about 6 inches away from another touchdown catch too, honestly. So it was good to see him with kind of a breakout performance. He had a nice catch on a hitch that he turned into about a 15 to 20 yard gain. And then on the touchdown, it was a sprint out to the field, and the two main receivers, the first 2 reads were covered, and our receiver drags from the backside, and so Darius worked all the way back to the receiver, and Ardell slowed down and kind of settled in a dead spot in the defense. And Darius found him and threw a nice ball to him, and then he broke a tackle and reversed field and scored. It was a great play all around by everybody.
Your specials team saw Austin Brawley run back a kickoff for a touchdown at the start of the game. What skills does Austin possess that make him so special when returning punts and kickoffs?
Well, you know, I'll state the obvious, which is Austin's really fast. You know, so that's going to be important, you know, if you want to score touchdowns on any return team. But he's also really powerful and really quick, and all those things don't always go together. So he brings a lot of great things to the table, and then really good vision to see those seams and hit them. So, yeah. And then you have to field a lot of balls that are, you know, they're not kicked to you. Right, and so you got a lot of adjustments that you have to make to field those balls. And you know, in high school, you get a lot of, you know, oddly kicked balls sometimes. And even on the touchdown, he ended up having to kind of catch it a little awkwardly, which, you know, not everybody can do that. Especially, you know, you put all those things together. So, you know, he's done a great job for us. You know, I think he's got a punt, a kickoff, an interception, return for a touchdown. So. Doing great.
Defensive back Ryan Zankovich led your defense with 7.5 tackles and 2 pass breakups. Tell us more about what Ryan brings to that Tiger defense.
Well, Ryan's he plays our backside safety, and so often he's the unblocked player in our defense, and so he's going to be in a position to make a lot of tackles generally. And we feel really good about that because he's a real physical kid. His good technique in it, when he tackles with great form. And Ryan's pretty fast too. He possesses pretty good speed. So, we feel really good about Ryan playing that backside safety position and being the guy who's got to come down and make those tackles unblocked. And he's a safety, so he's the last guy. He's playing pretty well.
In a moment, we'll talk with a Tiger player. But first, a word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
There was a time when 10 miles to the gallon was acceptable. Today's 40-plus mile per gallon cars weren't even in the rearview mirror back then. Of course, this Lennox air conditioner wasn't on the radar either. It's solar ready, the quietest, most energy-efficient air conditioner you can own. It's time to live in the now.
Call Reliable Heating and Cooling for the most advanced technology in heating and air conditioning. When you're ready to live in the now, call Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Thank you, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Joining me now is senior offensive guard Reese Turpin. Reese, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
First of all, congratulations on being named a unit leader on this year's team. Tell us how you felt when you found out you were a unit leader.
I felt very proud to be a unit leader, and I've always wanted to step up and be a bigger part of this team. And ever since I saw in the years before how guys were leading, it really made me feel good about myself.
Let's go back a little bit now. How old were you when you first started playing football, and who taught you the game?
Well, when I started playing football, it's pretty much just right out from being born, and I started playing in kindergarten. I was just playing flag, and probably my favorite, my first coach was Luke Burek. He used to go here. His dad was my first flag football coach, so he really helped me fall in love with the sport.
You're a starter on the Massillon offensive line. Describe some of the skills that are necessary to be a successful guard.
Probably the biggest skill that it takes is a lot of discipline, and all of it's just effort because with all the training that we do from Coach Stu and whatnot, the strength and stuff is going to come. So if you just push yourself and do what you're taught, you're going to be all right.
Because of COVID restrictions, the crowds last season were very limited. What's it like running out on the field this season and seeing that huge crowd right before kickoff?
It's truly amazing, and there's nothing like it in the world. Your whole body is just tingling, and you're it's an out-of-body experience. It's hard to explain.
As a unit leader, what is your message to your teammates as you get ready this week to face St. Edward's?
We lost in week 1, and it was really eye-opening for us, and it really just showed that we have a lot more to give and a lot more to learn. And St. Ed's is probably going to be our toughest opponent so far, so we just need to keep working our game plan that we use in practice, and everybody needs to give it their all.
Thanks, Reese. Coach Moore will rejoin us after this timeout on The Nate Moore Show.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Nate Moore Show. Coach, we just spoke with senior offensive guard Reese Turpin. Tell us more about Reese and what he brings to that Tiger offensive line.
Reese has had a great year so far. He had a really good offseason for us. Really strong kid in the weight room. 300-pound bencher, 500-pound plus squatter, very powerful guy. Possesses great size. He's 6'2", 300 plus pounds. And all that's transferred well to the football field this year. He does well at the point of attack, on the down blocks and base blocks, and he's a good puller for us. As big as he is, he's got pretty good feet, and does well as a puller for us too. So, and he's a unit leader for us, which is important. You know, we put a lot of leadership responsibility on those guys, and Reese always answers the bell. So, you know, we're real happy with Reese.
This week's game will mark the halfway point of the regular season. Can you identify for us some of the areas you are most pleased with in regards to this year's Tiger team?
I mean, we don't really look at it that way, you know, just because there's no time to really look back. You know, we're always looking forward. You know, we just want to get better every week at what we're trying to do, offensively, defensively, special teams. That's really the name of the game for us. Is you know, we want to be a little bit better week 5 than we were week 4, and we're going to want to be a little bit better week 6 than we were week 5. So we just try to keep moving forward.
This week, your Tigers return home to face a very good St. Edward's team on Friday night. What can you tell us about this year's Eagles team?
They're a great team. Offensively, the quarterback's really good. He's a good thrower and a great runner. And the offensive line is really good. And then defensively, they're really pretty good at all 3 levels. Defensive line's excellent. Both defensive ends are really good. So they're a really good team. You know, they're offensively they're still mostly spread like they've been, with some 11 personnel, but mostly spread. And defensively, similar to last year, that they in the past they used to be a too high defense. You know, the press quarters, you know, Michigan State defense, but beginning last year and now into this year also, they're now a 1 high defense. So a lot of cover 3, corners playing the dividers, you know, that type of thing, inverted safety. So you know, it just presents some different challenges. So, you know, they're a great opponent, and we're looking forward to getting out on the field with them.
For quite a few years now, your team has scrimmaged against St. Edward's as well. What, if any, are the advantages of facing a team in the regular season that you've already faced in a scrimmage?
I mean, it's just about the same as somebody that you've played versus somebody that you haven't played. You know, the scrimmages weren't games exactly, but, you know, it's been the last scrimmage, and so you kind of prep for that scrimmage, and then just, you know, playing against them, there's a familiarity with what they do offensively and defensively. Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like we've played them for 4 years or 5 years, however long it's been, even though, you know, we just played them the 1.
One of the few things I know that is very important to you is that your team always takes the season 1 game at a time. How do you and your coaches teach that idea to your players, especially the younger ones?
I mean, I think that's just by example. You know, that's how we operate, right? So, you know, you hope eventually that's just how they operate, right? You know, so, you know, when you're a sophomore and you're figuring those things out, that should be a lot different than when you're a senior, right? And you've been in the program for 3 years, and you know, that now becomes part of how you approach the things that you do. So, you know, I think that's generally how it works.
We want to thank Coach Moore and Tiger Senior Offensive Guard Reese Turpin for joining us on the show this week. The Nate Moore Show has been brought to you by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Aiden Hookey. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.
Hello, and welcome to the Stark County Humane Society. Today we're going to give you a few pointers when considering adopting a new furry friend. All animals here at the Stark County Humane Society are spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, dewormed, and if old enough, heartworm tested for our canine friends. Adopters will receive a free exam within 2 weeks of adoption at local veterinarian hospitals. We encourage all adopters to take full advantage of this. A one-time adoption fee is required for your new furry friend. When you adopt, you get an awesome adoption packet that includes treats for your new fur baby and savings for you. But this is not where the cost of adoption stops. Did you know the average cost of an animal like a new puppy or kitten can cost up to $500 annually? This includes annual veterinarian visits, preventative care, and everyday supplies like crate, litter, food, toys. But I hope this doesn't scare you away. Adopting an animal is a huge responsibility and a commitment. Please take the time to consider the cost of adopting a new pet into your family today. I hope to see you soon at the Stark County Humane Society. Please visit our website or visit us on social media for more information.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our Career Technical Education Department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
Welcome to this week's edition of Swing, featuring Tiger Swing Band director Jason Neel. We're on the air with you every Wednesday night following the Nate Moore Show. Our show is brought to you by Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. I'm your host, Rachel Wesky, and with me is Mr. Neel. Welcome to the show, Mr. Neel.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.
Yeah. First up, let's talk about last week's halftime show. It was the first road game of the season for the football team. How did the performance go as your band marched on a different field?
I was very pleased with our performance. First road game and first regular season road game in 678 days for the band. So we actually calculated that out. So there was a lot of stuff that went into that we hadn't done in a while. So all things considered, I was very pleased with how the kids performed at halftime, but how they were in the stands. They were very, full of energy, and we had a lot of strong sound during the game as we're playing, and I think the kids enjoyed it. It's a very different feeling performing on the road, so I thought they did well.
Yeah. How did your band members handle the travel part of last week's game at Warren?
Well, we had a longer bus ride than we anticipated. We hit some traffic going over there, and that's never fun to just sit in traffic. And at one point we were wondering if we would make it in time to see Warren's pregame show, but we did get there just in time to watch the other band do their pregame, which was, I think, an important part of traveling. And what we didn't get to do last year, we didn't get to see other bands, and we didn't get to see their performances. So we always respect the other bands, and we know how hard band members work to put a show on the field, so we were glad to be there to see that for Warren's band.
Yeah. As you and your staff plan out halftime shows, tell us a little bit about the process you go through to bring them to life.
Well, we start usually in the spring planning show ideas for the following year, and I always invite students to be part of that process. And we got several of our themes this year from students. And then once we have a theme in mind, we kind of think about what music supports that theme. Not only does it support the theme, but is it playable by the students we have? Can we find a good arrangement of it musically? And then it starts with the music, and then from there we brainstorm what kind of formations we could do, or what kind of dancing routines or things like that. And so it's a lot of elements that have to come together, and then I sit down and I actually write all the routines and the drills out on computer program called Piware, and then we pass those drill charts out to the students, and the squad leaders tell everyone else where to go. So there's a long, in-depth process, and we use recordings of the music that the kids play. So they'll play the music in class, we'll record it on our phone, and then we'll play it back over our sound system on the practice field, and they'll learn how they're going to the music that they're hearing themselves play. Wow. So there's a lot involved into getting to the point where we are ready to play and march at the same time. So it takes it's a long process, but good question, and there's a lot to it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the choreography that goes into the majorette routines each week.
Well, we have a wonderful majorette advisor. Her name is Lauren Foster. This is her 3rd year with us, and she's been great to work with. She has some creative ideas as to how, she sees the routine going with what the rest of the instruments are doing. We send her those recordings that we make in class that I was just referencing as soon as we possibly can, and that's usually maybe 2 weeks ahead of the show. Wow. So she's always coming up with new routines and then teaching them to the majorette line, and then they'll take videos of themselves learning it, and then they can go back and reference the videos, because we learn so many songs and so many routines so quickly. It takes a lot of effort to put on new shows for every home game. So I think the majorette line, the drum majors, our OB mascot, they've all done a great job this year in terms of their process and their learning, and they're working hard to get those shows ready. And we see, just like the rest of the band, everybody's getting better, a little bit better every week. And it's tough. I just like to remind people how difficult it is to do a new show every home game.
Yeah. We'll have more with us, Mr. Neel here on Swing. But first, this word from Howard's Tiger Rags.
Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon has the best selection of tiger apparel in the area. And once again, Howard's Tiger Rags is the proud sponsor of the Swing TV show on WHS-TV. Be sure to check out their large selection of infant and toddler apparel. You can even dress up your favorite pet in tiger gear. See their large selection of memorabilia along with mugs and glasses and your favorite tiger jewelry. How about a license plate holder or a tiger hat? Howard's has one to fit your style. Stop in at Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon, and don't forget to like them on Facebook.
Thank you, Howard's Tiger Rags, and welcome back to Swing. The annual Ann Dyke Ford Band Review is coming up this Saturday, September 18th at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, starting at 7 p.m. We talked about this last week, but let's go ahead and give the details again for this event.
Well, the Ann Dyke Ford Tiger Band Review is Saturday, September 18th, and tickets will go on sale only the day of the show. And so those tickets will be available at 5:15, starting at 5:15 out at the ticket office in front of the stadium. Tickets are $7 for adults and $5 for students and senior citizens. And children 12 and under actually get in free. We will have concessions there that night. We have 8 visiting bands from all over the state. We have our alumni band will be there, and then obviously the Tiger Swing Band will be there, and the show starts at 7 p.m.
I understand that Paint Valley Band is under the direction of one of your former students here at Massillon. Tell us more about that.
Noah Brandt was a tenor sax player here in the Tiger Swing Band a few years ago. I can't remember the exact year he graduated, but he's become a band director in that time. And he's got a small band that he's going to be bringing. I think they're going to open our show that night for us, and he's super excited to be back and to bring his band to Tiger Stadium to see what we do there. And Noah always had a passion for the swing band, and he put himself into everything he did. So I expect a very energetic performance from that band, and it'll be good to see Noah again. And so yeah, it's a cool story. I think we've got an article on our website talking about Noah and his band. So it's always fun to see students come full circle. They started in the band, and then now they're coming back to be part of what we're still doing here.
Yeah. Could you share with us a little bit about the alumni band and how they prepare for this show?
Yeah, great tie-in to coming full circle. You know, the students who march here, I believe, really enjoy being part of the Tiger Swing Band enough that they would want to come back and be part of it. We have about 50 members right now registered for the alumni band, which isn't too bad given all the circumstances. You know, next year we're going to try to have a little bit more of a performance for them in that Tiger Band review, and then the following year, which it would be the fall of 2023, that's going to be our 85th anniversary, so we'll have our alumni band come back for a football game, combined performance with the swing band. So we like to do that every 5 years, but this year we're celebrating our 83rd anniversary, I guess. Kind of a interesting number, but the alumni band will practice this Saturday at 2 o'clock, and then they'll have dinner with the band after that, and then they'll be part of the show, first band after intermission, and they'll do our opening routine, fanfare, Tiger Rag, Carry On, Massillon will shine, the alma mater, some of our traditional school songs, and it's always a joy for me to see people come back to march again. And so if there's any alumni who want to come out on Saturday, just have an orange shirt, black pants, and we'll get you in there. But glad to see our alumni band back again this year.
Yeah. And finally, please give us the details about this week's halftime show as our Tigers take on St. Edward's.
Well, this year, this week, we've got a very special show planned. So much so that we're going to do our opening routine at pregame, and that way we can have more time and do some special things at halftime. It's the theme is a beach ocean theme, and we've got some songs that kind of incorporate some of that. So we've got Surfin' USA and Wipeout and Jaws, Come Sail Away, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Irish Party in Third Class from the movie Titanic. So lots of beach and ocean music. We're looking forward to a very special show this Friday and Saturday night at the Tiger Band Review.
Well, that'll do it for this edition of Swing. Swing is brought to you each week by Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. I'm your host, Rachel Wesky, and as always, go Tigers!
Bye, sweetie. I love you.
Bye, Mommy. I love you.
No matter where life takes you, MCTV helps make sure you're never far from home.
Hi. Are you being good for Daddy?
Yes. Can we read a bedtime story?
MCTV connects you to home because that's what matters most.
Good night. Sweet dreams.
MCTV. We go the extra smile.